world's first O-Jester?
Not quite.
Cavort, gamble! Alright, so I'm actually quite used to talking into a microphone while playing first-person shooters, much to the chagrin, if you will, of everyone on any Team Fortress server I'm ever on. But you'll have to excuse me if I don't talk about the things you're all asking about, if anyone in fact has any questions. If you do have questions, Rohit will relay them to me. So what I'm going to do is just give a little playthrough of the game right now and talk about what's going on. Some of you who have seen our last stream have probably seen a fair portion of this. It's just you saw it on a computer that was stuttering because of the frame rate, and therefore you didn't see much at all because it sucked. We're trying to make it not suck now. So the game is set in an arcology floating above what used to be Boston. And the important part about that is each section of the arcology has from 0 to 3 arenas within it. Locations at which your fictional avatar has to fight the titans which are being created by Tim, the robotic bartender. If all of you are saying, what the hell is that, then perhaps I've said too much. The very first arena is one that I'm guessing everyone has seen in one form or another if they care at all. It's a very simple one that's just there to teach you the quickest and most efficient way to fight oh my god, you don't reverse your mouse. Hold on a sec, everybody. I'm one of the holdouts. I need my mouse to be inverted or everybody dies. Now that I've shared that frailty with everyone, I'm sure that they will all treat me more like a human being. I'm not going to complain about your mouse sensitivity right now. I'm just going to adapt to it. So here's a Titan. It's a very simple Titan. It's got guns, and it's there to teach a player how to kill a Titan. Notice that if I shoot at its middle, I do very little damage, nothing really appreciable at all. But if I peel in from the outside, I break it down, and soon that annoying Titan, which just managed to hit me, will be dead. Notice that I'm not having to destroy each piece before I destroy the one behind it. It just makes it a lot easier. In theory, I could have dodged around and just shot the center of the Titan, the core, until it was dead, but that would have taken literally 10 times as long. And really, who has that kind of time? I have to do things. I gotta eat dinner. I eventually have to go to the bathroom. So as you defeat each of these arenas, another one unlocks. This one is already unlocked because Rohit was playing with it earlier. Currently entitled Helter, Skelter. As you can see, there's a nice little interstitial graphic here telling you exactly how to win. Now you may be wondering, how exactly does this tell me how to win? And the answer is, it just looks cool, okay? I didn't ask to be born. So this is a totally different look to things than the test arena. It's got a nice sky, everything looks pretty. I freely admit that it has a strong resemblance to Bespin from The Empire Strikes Back, and I don't think that's deliberate, it just worked out that way because it's cool. And the purpose of this one is to teach you more. I have to get a certain number of Titans, as you see at the top of the screen, a certain number of points rather, to get Titan to spawn. Once it appears, it starts trying to kill me, but these drones, as we call them, are also trying to kill me. It also teaches me, because I'm incompetent, that if I fall, I get to respawn. Currently, the plan is that if you fall, you will lose some health. Debates are raging about how nice to be about that. The current thought is to cost you 25% of your health every time it happens, so don't do it. For historical and legacy reasons, it currently imposes a 5-second penalty instead. When it does that, on a map where you have 1,000,000 seconds, that's really not much of a problem. But It was originally imposed in cases where you had 30-second or 1-minute maps, and as a result, it was significant. What I probably should have talked about there is I was collecting power-ups as well, ones that made me shoot faster, shoot harder, and split up my shots in 3. There are multiple different power-ups that essentially do the same thing. Splinter and triple fire. The difference is that your triple fire spreads things one way and your splinter spreads things the other axis, such that if you get both at once, it's like you're shooting 9 shots at once. Combine that with rapid fire, and you deal out something like 18 times the damage of the normal shooting rate. The number of the duration of these power-ups is actually based on number of shots, however. So each time you're basically getting a set amount of added firepower, or a set number of shots worth of it. So if you do get rapid fire, you'll be able to deliver the same amount of damage in half the time. So having defeated these two, I go to the third of these, the Alleyways. And this is a design, when we were speculating about various types of arena that we would put together, we talked extensively about neighborhoods and buildings and areas where you could take cover and get out of the way of Titan's weapon fire and have to maneuver around things. And this is one of our attempts to make that work. It's not exactly a running gun battle. As you can see, I'm taking my time, being pretty sedentary. I just got clipped there mostly because I'm paying more attention to what I'm saying than what I'm doing. And also because the mouse sensitivity here is terrible. But I said I'd adapt, I lied. Once again, I need to get a certain number of points to kill, to get a Titan to spawn. And the way I'm getting them is by shooting at these enemies, which each spawn several smaller enemies. And I get points for those. And I'm still not there yet. I believe, if I recall correctly, from all of 24 hours ago, there are some martinis here, so I can get some fast points as well. So let's do that. Almost there. Almost there. Oh, so I fell. And note that there is a time limit here. It's just a very long one. So surely there's no chance of me running out of time before I've actually finished off all my foes here. Zipping along on a bridge, trying to get the points I need. This is a jet boost power-up. It may not be clear, but it lets me jet more. It is not sufficient to save me if I fall. I can't get back up on top of the bridge. And here comes the Titan. Now the idea here is it's up above the buildings, and I can take cover from it if I want, by getting such that there's a building between me and the aggressor. It no longer has line of sight on me for some of its weapons. These big vertical bars, the arc feed weapon as we call it, can go through things, but they're slow moving enough and they occupy the entire vertical space that I'm easily able to, oh crap. So I was easily dodging those, I stepped right off a ledge. So, you know, there's still a little danger. But it's a lot easier for me to shoot this thing and hit the areas I'm aiming at if I get up in close personal space. And my health has taken a bit of a hit, but it's not too bad. So this map also introduces the concept of more than one Titan in the map. This particular secondary Titan has a different weapon loadout. It's spraying indiscriminate laser fire at a downward angle. It's got missiles, but you'll notice they're not unloading on me yet. It has these area denial weapons, which if I were to run into, would damage and stop me. But I shot them because I'm really good. Similarly, I'm blowing these little missile pod things out of the air before they can kill me. I don't mean to brag, but... and even as I say that, I fell off the map, and I actually did run out of time. This is what I get for boasting. Don't be a boaster. Don't be like me.
You should me?
No, I was talking to everybody on the stream. You mean you're not listening to the stream, Rohit?
I am, but I'll hear it in 5 minutes.
I see. No, sorry. Yeah, if you see me making finger gestures and they're not obscene, they are not aimed at you. They are aimed at the game. And yes, I will confess I have made many an obscene finger gesture at this game. Last week I was in fact attempting to tune a survival map, which I believe you will see today. I think it's in this build. Trying to get it so that instead of being the hardest thing I'd ever played in a first-person shooter situation, that it was at least, possible to win. Or if not win, since it's all about how long you last, it was possible to get a sense of accomplishment out of it. I'm happy to say it did work out so you could play it to the point where you felt like you did something, but it was surprisingly hard to get it there without making it ridiculously easy. In the end, it's just really hard. And when I play it on Rohit's computer here, instead of mine just fine-tuned to my preferences, I will probably last about 10 to 20 seconds. But I am getting way ahead of myself. In theory, what I should be focusing on now is beating this map so that I can advance to the next location and the next set of arenas. Since, after all, if I keep going at the rate I'm going, this stream will last forever. So, here's that same Titan again, shooting things at me. And I'm going to get some power-ups so that my firepower increases. And you'll notice that I'm able to do a certain amount of standing here and just very slowly dodging to one side or the other so that its fire bypasses me. In a difficult map, as opposed to one of the first 3, I would like for this to not be possible. I think more highly of all of you than to give you too much easy stuff to do. But for the moment, at least here, it is a viable strategy. I almost fear that we will accidentally teach new players that the best thing to do is to stand there and shoot from behind cover, and then when they go to a more difficult map, which is full of high-powered or fast-moving enemies, drones and such, that they will all close in from the other side and just kill the player every time. And, there's something to be said for being a real jerk to your customers, but somehow it just doesn't seem like a polite thing to do. So this time I'm going to kill the Titan instead of getting killed by it, and now I will continue. And as before, if anyone has any questions or just wants me to shut up, tell the man to my right. He'll pass along your kind words.
Yeah, do you want to know what questions people are asking?
Sure.
Actually, Elliot's here. Mostly people are asking about, just generally chatting about level design and the levels that they've built. There isn't yet a question for you. There's one question about if we will put out a DRM-free version of the game. I don't know, because with all the player-generated stuff that needs Steam Workshop and the, leaderboards and so on, there's a lot of Steam stuff integrated, so I don't know if we'll do that.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have no idea what the plan there is or what the realities will be.
Yeah.
So I've now moved on to the next locale within the arcology, which is described as transport tunnels. Within here, there are 2 arenas. This one is titled Quicksand at the moment, and I honestly don't remember why. I suspect it was some really funny joke, like 3 weeks ago or more. At the moment, however, this is a map which has parade dragons in it. They're called parade dragons because they're a long section of a long series of sections which come at you and each follow the same path, and they just come try to kill you. It's real easy to rack up points by shooting them as they approach, and of course we have the ever-present martinis for more points. I've reached the threshold which will spawn the first Titan. This one appears to be held up by lots and lots of propellers. That is, of course, a lie. The propellers are just there to absorb some damage as I shoot at it. It would be kind of cool if it fell to its death as soon as I did that, but it would also make the game ridiculously easy. Notice that there are drones generating above me and slowly drifting down to harass me. I don't know if it's clear on the the stream, but when there are drones near me, I have a little radar display at the bottom of my screen that tells me where the drones are to warn me. I was using it to stay out of their way. It's one of those things, kind of like riding a bike. It's a lot easier to do it than to try to describe exactly how. Those of you who have already experienced this interface either have never even noticed it and are just now going, oh wow, that's been in here the whole time, or you've just been using it and not thinking about it. Or possibly you noticed it and you're not using it. I don't want to exclude the middle. So this brings us along to yet another arena, which is we call the Recycling Center. I know this doesn't really look like a recycling center that you're used to. It's got clouds of drones. These are somewhat faster. Notice that their coloration is different. These are clouds of very, very aggressive seeker drones, which seek to come ram themselves into me, killing themselves, and incidentally destroying themselves. Note that when the Titan spawned, it destroyed all the drones, which is nice, although that's actually kind of a trap, because it means that while I don't have to pay attention to those drones anymore, if any more generate, I might not be paying the attention I should be. This Titan is a big vertical shaft with fins on it, and isn't really very threatening at all. I'm just peeling away at its edges now and taking out some of the weapons. And as you can see, as I kill things from the fringes, I can move in towards the middle and kill the core. There's more than one Titan on this map as well. It's worth noting that I have absolutely no reason to get these martinis now because they were really only necessary to spawn the first Titan. But I'm still getting them because I expect that it will eventually matter. My radar is telling me that lots of enemies are coming at me, and in fact, if I turn around, yes, this Titan up here is shooting missiles at me, and I just killed it by unleashing a whole bunch of fully powered up weapons fire at it in a little slowly arcing path. In theory, a Titan will be more complicated than that. We were working on it yesterday, in fact, though not in a way that got into the current build. We don't want them to be big bags of hit points. We don't want them to simply absorb 1,000 shots. That's not really a challenge. That's just tedium. So what we want to do is make the Titans smarter and faster and capable of doing more surprising things as you damage them. Right now we have the mechanisms in place where certain weapons can start shooting only when the Titan has taken a certain amount of damage, and there's a couple different thresholds for that. But there's a lot more space to be explored, and I am looking forward to exploring it and making the Titans a lot more fun to fight. Just out of pure selfishness, I don't even mean for you guys. I enjoy a nice battle. This is a location that currently has no arenas within it, although it does have the retro arcade. Rohit, has the retro arcade been seen on the? Has the retro arcade been seen on a stream yet?
Is it the 2D version?
Yeah.
Yes, in the past, but feel free to show because not everyone might.
Well, it's pretty much exactly what you might expect. It's the side-scrolling version of the game, except that instead of a person, I'm a jellyfish. I'm our logo jellyfish. Azad, which means freedom, was going to be one of the two main characters of a game called Galaxy Rage, which Ichiro and I were discussing and actually doing some design and development work for 9 years ago. I feel old. It never really materialized. It turned out that it would be, well, it would take a lot more resources, time, and money than we had access to at the time, or that we have access to now. The best comparison I can make is we had the idea of making a game which would be comparable in scale to what Mass Effect ended up being, except doing it on a budget approximately 1/1000th as much. Sorry, did I say 1/1000th? 1/100,000th as much as what was used to make Mass Effect. Azad became the logo of Dejuban Games as a result of this, and there are many interesting jellyfish toys around whatever office we inhabit, ranging from ones that are bought in stores to ones that were actually knitted. Did Elliot knit that, I think? I think he did. Anyway, so Azad keeps popping up in things, and one of these days he'll actually show up in a game as an actual character instead of a side-scrolling sprite. Azad is a bioengineered jellyfish who flies in space and has a good sense of humor. And he likes pompadoms. So, we are going to go on to Cascading Tree. Now, I hate to give away the secret, but this is a map that has no titans on it. It has a very sort of chill, relaxing setup. There are enemies, and they're around. I can pretty much avoid or evade them, and just bounce around and be all chill and relaxed and try and get some points. Here come some enemies. These reasonably slow-moving parade dragons are coming after me. This is really easy. I don't know if a version of this arena that makes it into the final game is going to be quite as easy, but as is, you can chill out here for, several minutes if you want to. I think there's a total time limit of about 2 minutes. Or you can just hang out, get some RTs, shoo a few enemies, reach the 15,000 points that you need to get off the map, and move along. Or you can be stupid like me and run into a whole section of enemies there and lose half your health. Actually, the two things I've just described are not mutually exclusive as long as it's not all your health. Speaking of which, I think I've just determined that I am actually incapable of chewing gum and walking at the same time. Or perhaps I should say, more accurately, I cannot play this game competently while talking. That said, I won, and I got 2 out of 3 stars, and I'm kind of proud of myself. Moving along, this is our MUFFIN mode. It's called Flag Hunter because that's the version that many people will be familiar with. For those of you who haven't seen this, the basic idea is you're running around without weapons, and you are collecting muffins and taking them to a platform where they are cached in. As it says here on the startup screen, it's muffins because it's what we wanted. I'm pretty sure it was Elliot's idea, and if it wasn't, it should have been. The more muffins you have at once, the more each muffin, the next successive muffin is worth. And if you get hit, you lose half your muffins. If you fall, you lose all your muffins. And the basic idea here is to get 17,000 points before you either run out of the very long time limit or you get killed by your enemies. So I have 1 muffin, as you can see on the right-hand side of my screen, and I go into this box and boom, 100 points. Wasn't that awesome? If I had 2 muffins, I'd get 300 points, or 100 plus 200. If you get 19 muffins at once, you will have enough points when you cash them in, as the game currently stands, to simply win the map. After several playthroughs, the informal competition amongst those of us working on the game right now has become to get the highest possible score on this map by collecting 19 muffins at once and then cashing them in and doing it as efficiently and quickly as possible without ever getting hit by a laser and losing anything and without ever falling. And that's really not that hard if you're into the groove of things, and you end up getting a lot more points as a time bonus for doing it quickly. Ryan, who those of you on the last stream will have seen humiliating me in this mode when we had a low frame rate, has continued to be the high scorer, although while he's getting 105,000 points and I'm getting 101,000 points, you might think that I'm close on his heels, but I've tried to beat his score like 20 times in the last few days, and I have failed every time. It's like I'm reaching the asymptote of my skill, and Ryan has no such limitation. In fact, I know I'm not going to succeed this time either, because I already cashed in 1 muffin earlier and used up time. But still, notice that I got...
Pretty good score.
I got time. I actually, the majority, 3/4 plus of my points came from a time bonus. And that's how they get you. That's how the real high scores are going to come about on this map, by getting enough muffins fast enough. I would welcome...
Elliot said to tell you only needed 18 muffins.
Really?
Yep. Want to try again?
I'm going to try again.
You got time.
Did I do my math wrong? No, wait. You know what?
Sworn it was 19.
I was originally just going to grab 20 on general principles, and then Ryan said I needed 19. I now realize if I only need 18, and no, I'm not doing the math in my head. It should be easy, but somehow it's not. It is entirely possible that Ryan told me that to make me go after that 19th muffin. He may have sabotaged me. Ryan, if you're listening to this, I'm on you. I'm wise to your tricks. You're not going to be able to stop. Oh, crap, I got hit. So anyway, I'm clearly not going to set any high scores this round, but you'll notice that I didn't have any really dramatic effect from getting hit. I just lost some muffins. Oh, crap. And now I just lost some more muffins. We should totally add in a really dramatic sound effect when we get hit. Say, like an, my muffins, or something. The final version of the game may not actually be Muffin Hunter. It may be something more common or less goofy, though personally I really enjoy the muffin thing. I've already had a few suggestions for either an advanced mode where you hunt some other stuff and there's more penalties for problems, where you get slowed down the more things you collect, but nothing is decided yet. This is all still very experimental. Feedback from people playing is going to be important here too, because while I'm enjoying the muffins, and I know Elliot enjoys the muffins, and Ryan may not be himself a huge muffin fan, but he definitely enjoys beating everybody. I would love to find out whether, say, 90% of the people who have tried this have absolutely loved it or hated it, or just want to see something other than muffins. I mean, what if you were collecting bees and the bees kept stinging you?
People suggested collecting jellyfish.
See? And jellyfish can sting you too.
Weapon parts to then shoot the dynamite.
Oh man, yeah, these are very good ideas. That's actually a lot better than my bee idea. Although the advantage of the bee idea is that I was going to provide a sound effect by going bzzz.
And what if bees are moving?
Yeah. And of course, the suggestion I had yesterday included the idea that the more things you collect, the slower you get. Like you lose 1% of your speed when you have 1, you lose another 2% when you have 2, and so on. So if you collect everything you need to get the score you need, you're moving at about 4/5 speed, but you have the ability to jettison them using your weapon to shoot them away. And of course, they can go bouncing down below and be lost forever if you're not careful. You know, adding another dimension to it. Now, the first time I played this, it was pointed out to me that I could shoot these arc fiends out of the air. I actually couldn't. I think Ichiro was just testing to see if I'd believe him. And I am reflexively trying to shoot at them right now. It's not working any better this time either. Ugh. So I only need a few more muffins, but I keep losing. And this saddens me. However, the thing that saddens me most, and I could have carried the secret to my grave, but nope, you're not going to be so lucky, is the fact that I'm currently playing this on a laptop with very little sound coming to me, so that the stream goes out properly. So I actually can't hear the voice saying, "Muffin." And that's too bad, because despite everything I've talked about, and let's face it, that's a lot of stuff, the thing that I like most about this map is hearing "Muffin." So I was defeated by the muffins. It saddens me. And the worst part is that I'm not actually allowed to proceed until I beat it. So if you'll all excuse me, I'm going to talk a lot less this time, and I'm just going to win. Also, I'm going to go to the correct map. Oh, I stand absolutely corrected. Apparently the way things work has changed in this build from the way it was yesterday. And I am actually able to advance to the next map despite... Wait, did I actually beat that map the first time?
The muffin map?
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
And then you told me I could... Yeah, I did beat it.
Yeah,
Duh.
you beat it. You went back to try to beat it
I went
again.
back to try and beat my time, and then I just sucked. Oh, wow. I'm just bringing a whole high new level of quality to the stream today. So this is Orbital Titan Cannon, which is an arena named after the Orbital Friendship Cannon, which is probably the most fun of the power-ups in its way. The Orbital Friendship Cannon is very simple. When you have it enabled, you use the action button, and a rainbow of friendship comes down from on high, eradicating any bad thoughts and anything else in their way. You can't use it to destroy terrain at this time, though watch this space, but you can use it to destroy titans. Another power-up here is a shield. I just activated the shield, which allows me to ignore all these enemies who are closing in on me, and in fact get points as they all run into me and smack into me. And I just wanted to get in a position. I just hit the button, and I'll watch now as the rainbows converge and deal an enormous amount of damage to this Titan. It's not enough to outright kill this one, but it is quite a lot. It also took out about half plus of its weapons. And I think we're having frame rate problems now.
Oh no, really?
Well, it's saying FPS in the 20s now.
It's possible that some levels are just started with this.
This one is
streaming.
this one is, having played this as recently as last night and not having any problems. And I think that, we're running into our limitations when streaming. For example, it all looks fine right now because there aren't 500 Titan pieces on the screen, and there are only at most 100 drones and missiles. What's that?
Kill more Titan pieces.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's sort of a limit with what we can do with Twitch and the game at the same time, and we might be hitting that with my machine.
I'm curious to get opinions. So the power up, which I collected a moment ago, it's a jet boost, and it's supposed to look like wings. But Ryan and I agree that what it really looks like is a logo of the Wu-Tang Clan. And we confused Ichiro very much when we kept describing it that way. Alright, I will now attempt to finish this Titan off with the Orbital Friendship Cannon. I get below it, I hit the button, I look back, I shoot these enemies, a rainbow comes down. My frame rate is not super bad yet. I get a health recharger while my shield is up, so I've got a few moments to think. Yep, the cannon killed it. And a couple of Titans now appear. Notice that there are two at once.
The Brush Titan.
The Brush Titan is not super scary on its own. It's really almost a distraction from the other Titan and all the enemies that are going on. Really what these Titans present is an opportunity to use more friendship cannon stuff. However, they also use a mechanic which I don't know if it's been in any former builds. You might notice, it's kind of hard to see when I have a shield like this, but these Titans turn light blue for a while. That light blue is the same shield I'm using. And it essentially makes them invulnerable for a little while. So I can't actually hurt them when they're light blue, even with the Orbital Friendship Cannon. They can still shoot at me though, just like I can shoot them while I have invulnerability. So it adds a layer of complexity to the fight, and it certainly makes me swear more. I'm going to resist the temptation to do that right now, having just fallen off the map for the, 20th time this round already, which hasn't really cost me 100 seconds. I may be exaggerating slightly, but not by as much as I could. I don't know, Rohit. I'm scared too. Alright. It looks like it just lost its invulnerability again. I'm going to attempt to kill it without using the friendship cannon, because I don't think I can use the cannon, there we go, without falling. And this is the last Titan on the map. I know this. I'm going to stand on it. I'm going to fire the Titan cannon. I'm going to get out of the way, give everyone a bit more of a look at it.
Will that kill it or just...
It's just going to do an awful lot of damage. I believe that all the Titans that appear on this map are tough enough that you will never kill one outright with a single dose. However, he definitely softened it up, took out half its weapons. And if I had already knocked off its weapons, then the center would have gone away too, since they, of course, absorb things. There are lots of health power-ups on this particular arena, and thus far, I have needed them all.
14 seconds.
I got this.
11 seconds.
This is easy. It's almost dead. Ta-da!
Nicely done.
Don't you wish you were good at this like I am, Reuben?
I do. I can't even reach this level.
Well, to be fair, I've played it a lot more. And I've played a lot more first-person shooters.
Alleyways,
And I helped design the mechanics,
It's true.
and some of them are calibrated to my level of skill. Amusing story from way back in the day, Ichiro worked on the game Inago Rage, which is the first-person shooter he was involved in, and which this game is very much a descendant of. He worked on it alone for months, and then he presented it to various friends and said, "Hey guys, try this." And we were all people who were pretty proud of our skill and ability at first-person shooters. But he had essentially calibrated it to his own skill level, and he was always the best person we knew at such things.
Hey, Dan.
He made a game so hard that no one could beat it.
So we have about 15 minutes.
Wow, time really flies when I'm talking.
No comment. No,
Well, for me it does. For me. So I'll try and go a little quicker here.
Well, I'm just letting you know so you can kind of pick and choose the things you want to show. I don't know
fair
if we'll be
enough.
able to cover everything, but, you know, there's always next week.
Yeah. Well, here's a map that includes another kind of enemy which you can't kill with your regular weapon. What you do is you knock them away, and you get points when you do it, which is nice. But they keep coming back, and of course they're mixed in with ordinary seekers that you can kill. And if you let them gather, they will kick your ass. They'll just keep knocking you around and making your life miserable. What may not have been clear because I was talking is that I got enough points there, and the Titan came, but it's way down below here. Look at him. He's so delicate and inoffensive. I actually kind of feel bad killing him a little bit, but not really. After all, he is a filthy robot. Note that when the Titan appeared, as they often do, it sent out a wave like a neutron bomb, which killed a bunch of enemies. However, with these unkillable kamikaze enemies, it doesn't actually kill them. All it does is knock them far, far away. And they've been closing back in the whole time since that first Titan spawned. So they're still around, and they just reached me. So I am now attempting to beat this Titan while dealing with my flock of admirers, of kinetic admirers, if you will. I'm using power-ups to increase my firepower, and I'm taking full advantage of the terrain to kill things as I go without getting hit by return fire. And as you can see, it worked. Worth noting here is that, remember on the Muffins level, 3/4 of my points were from time. Here, more like 1/3 of my points are from time. I don't know how that's going to end up working in the end. I'd like it to be a little more consistent, where someone of a given skill level is more likely to get a fairly consistent bonus from time, rather than sometimes getting the majority and sometimes getting the minority. But that's for the future. So here's a map that has no Titans and is full of accelerators. And it's all about flinging yourself around to avoid enemies and killing those enemies and collecting some of the low and high value martinis and doing it all in a fairly short span of time and not falling down. This map was ridiculously hard, and then it got toned down to be easier, and then it was ridiculously easy. So I made it harder yesterday, and I made it so that only Only someone who had been playing the game non-stop for weeks could even have a chance of beating it. So then we made it easier again. And now it's just about right, where anyone who is not experienced is going to continually fall off, lose time, and fail. And anyone who knows what they're doing has about a 50-50 chance of succeeding, and Ryan will just beat it every time because he's really good. Notice that a 5-second penalty really matters now, and that the damage I'm taking is significant, and I'm probably going to die just before I would win. So I think it's just about right. The only problem is in the build just before this one.
Guys, it happened.
What happened?
What you want?
Accelerator.
Oh my God! Have you played the Muffin mode yet?
Yes.
You got a new high score. Take a look at this.
I was actually telling people about the...
Look at this. Prove to the camera people that.
I was telling them about Ryan's 105,000 point score that I...
105. Yeah, screw that. Look at that. Look at it.
So like I was saying, that last 5,000 points was proving impossible for me to catch up.
You have to get
And then hold there for a few
If
seconds.
you want me to move, you're going to have to be nicer.
Just careful of that yellow cable, though.
Yeah. That's
Is it on it?
Yeah,
Point
yeah,
11,
yeah,
17,000 points collected from 19 of the martinis. Time bonus times 500,
Hold up, one sec.
93,184.
One sec.
And final
Dan,
score-
alt tab me to OBS.
And final score. Hey, how you guys doing? And final score is 110,184 points
Here we go.
with 3 stars.
See it?
Can you guys see that? I don't even. Is any? You know, you ever hug somebody and then you smell like their perfume for the rest of the day?
Yes, all the time.
Like Dan's perfume is on me. His manly musk.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going
Oh,
to say.
that's.
All right, you got it right.
That's a natural
Yeah.
musk exuded by my armpits.
That's actually not Dan, it was somebody who was actually wearing perfume.
You know, if they start making perfume that
Elliot said
smells
just
like
check
me,
the
I want
high
to cut.
score.
Is it higher
Oh, maybe
than,
he's talking about something else.
is it higher than,
110?
yeah, 110?
It may be.
Hold on.
Anyway, this is the most productive I've been all day.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn it! We're paying him money. We're gonna like be beholden to our stockholders, of which we have me. So, what do we got? Was the high score submission bugs fixed? Was there a high score submission bug?
No, mine isn't. Mine was through the editor.
Yeah.
So
it's
not
not
through the
submitted.
actual game. So it's
Yeah.
not submitted.
So it
But
doesn't count.
The proof is on the internet.
The proof is on the internet, and it will be up on YouTube. So I'm gonna rate the high score right above Dan's head. What is it again?
I don't think they can see it with this camera in this light.
110.
110, 184.
184. Don't worry, Dan. Somebody, Creepy Pies will have seen it. Is he even here today? He's not here today. Alright, whatever. There. That is the high score on Muffin mode that you guys need to beat.
Cool. We got 3 minutes, Dan. Anything else you want to show? We can also
I'm
just
just
wrap
going to
up.
make this promise that I will not actually edit the map before playing it to make it easier to win. I promise.
Also, I didn't have a perfect run. So it's
He
definitely
did not have a
possible.
perfect run, but he had a close run. He's
Yep.
the best out of the office. So
So this is what I was complaining about. Ryan makes me feel as though I have very small genitals. So
wonderful. With that, I'm leaving.
I guess we don't have an enormous amount of time left here, and
You have enormous genitals.
I'm just going to
Bye, guys.
pop back into Accelerator and beat it, since it takes less than 3 minutes, since you only have 75 seconds. The way I'm going to beat it is by playing it as it was meant to be played, like a fiddle, or some sort of other musical instrument that plays with skill. Part of the trick is I'm actually going to kill these enemies when they show up. Another part is I'm going to ride these accelerators and press to one side so I get the martinis that spawn just to the side of the path.
Sure, don't just behave your heads, nobody can see it.
Well, to be fair, my head is large, and I'm not even talking about like in scale to the rest of me, which is also large. I've always had a fat head, even when I was skinny and ran cross country in high school. I was considerably more athletic at the time, but even then, I had a head so big that when I eventually got a motorcycle, I had to get the biggest possible helmet, and even then, it was always crammed on. I had to actually cut my hair down to a short buzz cut to fit it inside the helmet. This is in no way necessary for anyone to know, and it's in no way relevant to this game, but I like to talk. And I got 31 out of 32,000 points. Hey, remember that time 75 seconds ago when I said I was going to beat this, and then I failed? Well, stream's over. I'm out of here. I flipped the table, but my laptop's on it.